Kaguta Museveni actually taking second jab at the presidential election. Now, we want to quickly hear thoughts from yet our colleague who's on ground to also bring us up to speed on what's happening there. Priva, are you there? How is it going?
Of course, the pressure is picking up. Like you already mentioned, there's been a high voter turnout. But at the end of the day, time was very limited, thanks to the Electoral Commission chairman, Justice Simon Byabakama, who decided that they should be extended at least 1 hour. So that means there's 30 minutes left before everybody who is among the registered 21 million voters will be casting their ballot. The polling materials arrived very late. The biometric machines also are not working. And on top of that, as taxpayers, a lot of money was spent on purchasing the biometric machines.
Some polling stations are actually using the biometric machines, and other polling stations have resorted to the manual way of voting. How that is going to affect this election, we wait to see. Let us look at what is happening in Ginger.
And this time, Bobi Wine is asking Ugandans to cast a protest vote against the authoritarian government of President Yoweri Museveni. The way he sees it, Yoweri Museveni is a dictator who sees Uganda as his personal property and all Ugandans as his slaves. That's exactly what Bobi Wine told me a month ago when I spoke to him. On the same day he was campaigning in the capital, Kampala, he was beaten up. His supporters were tear-gassed. This has been a violent campaign through and through, and that is the backdrop for this election. 2 days ago, the government of Uganda shut down the internet, and the people of Uganda don't have access to the internet as we speak right now. So even getting any voting lines video from Uganda has been difficult, because even the media is having trouble covering this election when they're having to call their reporters on the phone because they can't get any live video from that. The reason the government of Uganda shut down the internet is because they say this is to avoid the spread of misinformation, disinformation, to curb the potential for electoral fraud, and also to avoid any incitement to violence. But this has been criticized by many human rights groups, by the opposition there, as an authoritarian repressive tactic.
Well, and how do we now even know if the elections are fair? Talk about no transparency, cutting down the internet. I mean, how is this election supposed to be credible?
That is the big question here, and Bobi Wine, the opposition leader, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, as he's officially known, has said that all signs point to President Yoweri Museveni rigging this election. He's been in power since 1986. This is his 40th year in power, and he's running for the 7th term, and he does not expect that this election will be credible, free, and fair because of the extreme violence and the tactics used by President Yoweri Museveni. President Yoweri Museveni's government says that protecting the gains, and they have brought Uganda stability and economic growth, and he looks to continue that. But Bobi Wine told CNN a few days ago that if Yoweri Museveni rigs this election, the people of Uganda must rise up to defend their victory. So in the next few days, we'll get to know if he does win, or it's another continuation of Yoweri Museveni's rule for another 5 years, bringing his rule into 45 years. The man is in his 80s now, and the signs of age are starting to show.
Right, people, welcome back, family. All that is happening. No. What's happening in the country of Uganda? What is happening? Because I've seen the crowd celebrating the streets. I've seen Bobi Wine coming out celebrating the streets with his supporters in the streets of Uganda, because they're feeling like they're going to have the victory of the election of the Uganda as they expected. Because according to the results, we are not sure. I am not sure of all that maybe is happening. All what is relevant, because there are some people who are saying Museveni has won, but there are some people who are saying Bobi Wine has won. So between these two races, we need to see the strength of one leader, one strong leader who will come out. But now, Museveni must panic. Museveni must have fear from all that is happening, because Museveni was sure that no one can come to challenge his power. No one can come to challenge his victory, because he was sure that he is going to be announced as the leader of the president as the presidential elect. Now, the people are coming out in different streets in the country of Uganda to celebrate the victory of Bobi Wine, because Bobi has won in different regions of across Uganda. Now, what this means Because Museveni, every time I come across the videos of Museveni, people addressing Museveni, they are addressing Museveni as a dictator of Uganda who has been in power over the longest time, even before our parents were born, even before we were born. So they're feeling like, people are feeling like this man, despite being a great man in Africa, because Museveni is a great man in Africa, we cannot forget that Museveni is a great man in the history of African leadership or African governance. But now it has come. It come to the point where change must come. Change must come, and people must have something different. People need to have a different image in their countries, which can bring new ideas and different visions. But not the same person, because the same person being repeatedly a leader of a certain country, this means that he cannot come out with a different ideas that can build the country, but he will be always coming out to repeat all that he has been doing. Because first of all, this man has been the leader of this country over 40 years. So he always feels like all is well. The government and the country is stabilized, is well developed, and it's well secured. So everything that everything that the people need is about the feeding and the security of the country. But that is not enough. The youth are saying that that is not enough. We need more. We need more that can build our country to another level as how other countries have built their own countries. That's why today people are saying that we don't need the Museveni. We need someone else. Even if it's not Bobi Wine, but we need change from a different person apart from Museveni. That's what the people of Uganda are asking. Museveni is not bad. No leader is perfect. That's the reality. No leader is perfect. Every leader has his own or her own issues. But we know and we admit the truth that Museveni fought for the country of Uganda to free it from the wars, from the foreign influences, and from everything that was attacking this country, that was made this country not to have peace. But again, that cannot be this reason to say that we need to have him every time. Because at this time, all that is affecting African continent is that we are having majority of the young populations. And when these young people are in these countries, feeling these countries, and they're feeling like all the leaders are there, not listening to their voices, not listening to their agendas, and not working towards their visions, then they feel like their governments are failed. They feel like their leaders are out of the edge of power. So they feel like they need to have someone different from all these leaders they used to have, so that maybe they can have something different from what they're having. That's the problem of Uganda. So Uganda doesn't have any other problem with the Museveni, because Museveni has been a good leader. But it doesn't mean that he was supposed to be a leader until the death takes him out of the power. Because this country is a country that holds millions of people. So it cannot be just that Museveni is the only person who is perfect that can lead this country in a certain position. Because at this time, all that is happening in the country of Uganda is that there is war between the older generation and the younger generation. The older generation are okay with the Museveni, but the younger generation are asking questions. Why do we need to have all these men who are older driving our governments? Because unemployment is the problem. Job opportunity is the problem in Africa. Security is the problem. And a lot that they're passing through, and their leaders cannot work towards it, because the leaders feel like when they fill their stomach, then they're okay. When they are not being attacked, that's enough. But that is not enough. That's not about building. That's not about developing. It is not enough. That's why today the younger people are coming out to ask questions, tough questions. Why do we need to have you? What are you going to do for us, with us? What are you going to bring in our life which will be new and will make us to run our own life? That's the question that African youths are asking. So I don't know what is happening. We need to verify this verification from people of Uganda to see exactly what's happening, because there are some people who internet is off in the country of Uganda, but there are some people who are using a VPN and they are able to share all that is happening, and that is what we are asking, so that we can be able to see all that is happening, and so that if we come here to speak or to report, we have the actual things that is happening, so that we can be able to give out the full information as how things are happening. Be blessed, region. From congratulations to Bobi Wine, congratulations to Museveni, whoever has come out with a victory, then congratulations to you, and be blessed. When I am praying and hoping for the best to the young people, to the brothers and sisters in the country of Uganda. We love you, and we pray for you that the country have peace and your life be in safety. And be blessed.